You are now watching the ODTV.
Conversation. And my
Because you want to believe something never made it true, bro.
But I don't believe these things without facts behind them.
I push you back all these years, and you still don't cut it a nigga. You're insane, brother.
Because you won't. This is why I won't credit you with the years that you're giving me, because they're not talking about you. Because you don't now because you.
But you want to argue that 2,000 years ago I was African.
I'm not arguing about that.
If you can beat me on that, fine.
I'm not arguing about that, and I'm glad you think it's funny because I got.
Because it is, bro.
No, you're funny, and people like you are sick. Y'all sad.
No, really not.
Y'all are sad individuals.
We just learners. We just regular people who learn things.
So much.
I never said that. I never said that. How did you never heard that booty scratcher come out my mouth, brother?
I never
heard
said
that.
You said that, but I can show you I can prove how you do. Because you'll say somebody's Niger Congo speaking people. Where's the fucking Niger Congo?
That's the information that I got, bro.
No. But now you're playing. See, now are we gonna play shit games or are we gonna be men about this? I'm asking you a question. But I'm telling you, nigga,
that you be talking about.
Where
that's really
is
not
the Niger Congo? So everybody from the Niger Congo is
in the name. Where do you think it is?
It's in Africa.
It's in the name. So if I'm saying the name and you're saying the name, where do you think it is, bro?
But see, listen to yourself. You're going against facts right now. The Niger Congo River is in Africa. So people
I'm talking about the culture, not the rivers.
See, that's what I said. But I never asked you what was your culture.
People,
but I never asked you what was your culture. I asked you where do black people come from, and you told me they were Niger Congo.
And I told you that's the first culture that I've seen.
I didn't ask you about culture.
That's what I told you.
I didn't ask you about culture. I asked you where do black people come from. So the correct answer, if you're saying the first culture comes from black people around.
You playing number semantics, which I don't care about. You can do that all you want.
I'm not playing numbers. We never said nothing about numbers. Right now, we're talking about titles of people because that's what you're stuck on. You're stuck on people being from the African.
I'm just stuck on people with truths and fears, brother.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that would be ridiculous because
that's my folks. And there you go.
Again, that's another cultural thing.
It's ridiculous for an Italian to be an Italian, a Chinese to be a Chinese.
No, but those are nationalities.
Stop it, man.
But those are nationalities, not races of people. Those aren't races of people. Those are nations in which races of people live. Because you live in a certain nation, that doesn't make you a different race. It just makes you a different nationality. So a person can be born in Germany and be of any color, come to America and be a German American because that's an ethnic group. That is not a race. So they come from German nationality. They went to American nationality. So
Holy Roman Empire, Germany.
No, but I'm not talking about the Roman Empire. But you could do it from a Rome. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can come from Afghanistan. You can come from Rome. You can leave Rome and go to Australia, and you would be a European Australian or a Roman Australian. That's an ethnicity. It's not a race.
That means nothing to me. You could be an American citizen in 7 years. So what the fuck you be talking about?
But that's a law. Now you're talking about laws. I'm just talking about people in general. What I'm saying is that a person from any part of the world, technically, I'm not saying that they did, but they can inhabit any part of the world because people can stand on dirt anyway.
I don't care which part I inhabit. I just know we was mine.
But you do care which part you inhabit.
Hebrews, Moors.
Yeah, but
just like Black said,
that's what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I said
but
it.
Listen to what I'm explaining to you.
Bad man.
What I'm explaining to you, but everybody will know that you're already wrong because those aren't races of people. Those are cultures. You can be any
just
race.
Like the Niger Congo speaking culture. That's all I talk about. But
I'm trying to help you out.
I'm not talking about skin color.
But I'm trying to help you out with that. But I'm trying to help you out with that. The people
That's what an empire is.
No. But the people who started the Niger Congo Empire and culture are black Africans. Nobody else. They were the first people at the Niger Congo River.
Black Africans.
Yes, because that's the land in which they come from. So everybody
talks like that. That's why I keep asking you. It's not me. That's why you always putting your language on me.
I'm not putting my language on
Black Africans.
But see, I'm not arguing about word semantics. Africa is the name of the continent today. So anybody who ever hears this, You consider that land Africa because that's what.
And you call them black Africans. Everybody over here black Africans.
Because all Africans aren't black.
That shit sounds sick.
All Africans aren't black. Because all Africans
like voodoo, bro.
Because all Africans aren't black. That's why I say black African. That's why I say white European, because all Europeans aren't white.
I just feel sorry for my Africans that you putting spells on them, calling them black Africans and shit. That's what I feel sorry for.
You can say what you want, but you're only making it worse. At the end of the day,
not one African over there called themselves black African. Not one. Not one.
And the Moors didn't call themselves.
In the back motherfucking jungle.
And the Moors didn't
call
themselves the Moors. What's your point?
Nah, they definitely did.
All right, so you have no point. So you have no point on what people.
They got literal names of people that was in the empire.
So now, why would I go and get?
But
why would
to make it easy for us today, we could just say Moors.
So why
to make it easy for us on Africa, we need to leave that shit alone and say a country.
No, we can't because Moorish is what one group of people called them.
Yeah.
So no. Can I finish my statement because you keep cutting me off? So if we were to call them Moorish, we would be using that group of people's terminology. We would be using that group of people's terminology and their mentality. Because they
I don't like that though.
So even if we go to Australia, if we call those people Aboriginal or indigenous people, the word is Aboriginal that they use for those people. I would even say they're original. No, but now you're contradicting yourself.
I would say that too, yeah.
But because
they some old people.
Because you've been taught by the people who made those words.
No, because they old people.
Because you've been taught. No, but the word comes from the people in which you are trying to.
They honestly had culture. If they even made it to Australia, like you said, then they would have to have a culture to even get there.
But it doesn't matter what your culture is. You were a race before you had a culture. People change their cultures. Some people.
And the luxurious Africans, you keep reducing to black African. What the fuck?
Because I'm making a point because all Africans aren't black.
This motherfucker give you flowers, this nigga do chop your head off. Like, you just put them all together, huh?
What I'm explaining to you again is all black people, all Africans aren't black. So I need to say, if I'm talking about the Negroid race.
I'm also like, what's your tribe? You're going to be like, you an African. They going to fuck you up.
But again, just like yesterday, I got you on the phone saying that DNA test for your son is different than your ancestry.
DNA is only for niggas who think they smart.
No,
and
DNA,
want to talk like they smart.
But that's not real, y'all.
And none of us geneticists, but I got books.
But all the people who take who administer these tests are. So basically, let me explain it to anybody who's going to.
The nigga already said for the DNA test you're talking about, that is entertainment.
Let me explain all three phases.
Sex.
Let me explain all three phases of what he's talking about and what the truth is. So I'll start with the truth.
Is that DNA stuff real? Yes or no? That when you say you spit off.
I'm gonna say I'm not.
When you say you spit in the tube,
I'm doing
is that real or not?
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
I want you on record.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Then I'll answer your question. But I'm not gonna stop what I'm saying.
Is it real?
I'm not gonna stop what I'm saying to talk.
It's real.
Which is what? Canaan, right?
No, I'm just asking you, is your DNA test real? Yes or no? So we can have that on record and you can be done.
I'm going to talk to y'all because, like I said,
Go ahead, please.
I'm not going to do that.
Because it's over, y'all.
Because I already saw I listened to how the last joint turned out. I'm not going to give him that power.
I need that power.
I'm going to do what I do. So this is what I do, y'all. I'm going to try to remain as calm as I can. If he starts talking, I'll just be quiet for a minute. So that's do. So now, what scientists can do, not me personally, but scientists of all over the planet, the people who administer DNA tests in every state of America, we're going to use America as an example in this little presentation. The people who administer it are paid by the state, right? So we know that every state in America has a crooked past. So we're counting on those people to give us accurate DNA results to pay for a child, girl or boy, for the next 18 years of our life. And if we are a good person, we'll be paying for them longer than that. And we all know that as parents.
And people send their dogs spit over there and get funny results and everything else.
My point is this, people. And if, like I said, we're not going to get into...
A dog is Indian, more Indian than me.
We're not going to get into what he's doing. What he's doing is he's trying to make it, what I'm saying, seem ridiculous by saying dumb things. So I'm going to continue to talk to y'all, and when he talks, I'm just going to pause. So what a DNA test is, it's for 1/3 of what you pay the state to find out who your child is. These people pay scientists, actual DNA geneticists, to go and trace DNA markers that are in a data bank. Now, where did they?
I bet you committed a crime. Yeah,
now this is what I want
to
to explain to y'all. So, like in Asia, y'all, people in China, thousands of people, a couple thousand. Let's just use a broad number and say about 2,000 people all took a DNA test, and 90-something% of those people had small markers, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, maybe 3%.
So if I send it in right now, they're going to tell me what I know. I'm Blackfoot. I'm Cherokee. They're going to send all that to me?
Again, y'all, we're not going to pay attention to him. This is the child stuff. He won't even let me speak and finish what I'm saying.
I know my history,
so
people.
What I'm saying to y'all is this.
That.
So what I'm saying to y'all is that they had African DNA. Now, if you're black or brown on Earth, I don't even need you to take a DNA test to know where your ancestors come from. Now, this is how it works. If your ancestors were in Africa for 10,000 years and left, you'll be mixed with more things from outside of Africa than me if my ancestors were in Africa for 200,000 years and then left.
Common sense.
Exactly. So now, if you go take the DNA of any black American, he'll be over 85% African. That's how it works. That's
not
how it works.
Not tribe, just African, yo. Because that's my next question to him is what tribe you come from.
They can tell you your tribes. They can tell you the countries you come from and everything.
I can easily tell you mine: Cherokee, Blackfoot, Yamasi.
But this is what I'm saying to y'all. Going back to the tribe, first you have to go to the continent. You have to figure out what continent you come from. So if a European took this same DNA test that he's saying is fake, it would say that the European is 90-something% European. Even if
my granddad is darker than this man here.
Even if he'd been in America, but skin complexion, exactly, that's my point. So I know your grandfather, if he's darker than me.
Blackfoot Indian?
No, black Indians don't get that black. Only Negroids do.
Oh,
what you're confusing is that a Negroid can be an Indian. That's what you're confusing.
I was under the impression he came from Germany because of his last name, and I did the history.
But you could be right. You could be right. But how? But where was he at before Germany? You're not. This is what I've been telling you the whole time.
There's a lot of black people in Germany. That's why
you've never changed what you were. All you did was add to it. If I have a wolf and I start with one wolf.
The Moors conquered the Iberian Peninsula, so I don't really get it.
One Paco, you know how many different groups of people
and then when that empire fell, those people came to America.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people came to America over time. But what we know is we can't talk about who came to America. That's what you call, if you ever play cards, y'all, it's called after spades. That comes after. All that shit is after spades. You have to
when they go back to England or something?
Nah, but you go back before England. You go back before the Middle East. And as you
I'm just telling you for a fact they went back to America, guys. Just look it up. Like,
but again, so when you hear people, I'll tell y'all like this. If you want to know what you're made up of, not who you are, only you decide who you are.
Yeah, absolutely, especially today.
You can't pick what you are, ladies and gentlemen. If you're black or you're brown, I will bet my life. I will bet that you...
Today you can identify as anything you want. I'm just telling you all history, period.
No, that's not history, y'all. That's not history. That's certain small groups of people on the planet.
We didn't come over here on boats. We didn't come over here 100 years before that, 200 years before that, 300. Nah, we was here, bro.
Think about it, y'all. Think about this. How did white people get here? White Europeans. How did Europeans get here?
They was on these African boats that you love so much.
I'm asking
those slave boats.
I'm asking you a question. How did Europeans get to America?
Them slave boats you was talking about.
Okay, so if they had boats to get themselves to America, and we know that before they came to America, they already had slaves in Europe, why wouldn't they bring their servants with them?
Of course they brought some Moors with them. They tell you that in even history class.
People who built
regular history class to tell you that.
Y'all, the Moors helped build.
They is navigators and eunuchs. Navigators and eunuchs, bro.
This is what I'm trying to explain, y'all. So you saying that the same people who civilized them were their only slaves? I'm asking a question. I'm not saying you said anything.
I believe they was bringing them over here. I just believe them niggas was bringing them over here, and that was that. That was the job, bring them motherfucking people over here, because they were slaves when they got here.
We know, no. But those people that you saying were the slaves, right? They make up a smaller percentage than the actual black people here.
What, the white slaves you talking about?
No, I'm not talking about any white slaves. What I'm talking
I
about.
don't know about that many black slaves.
What I'm asking you is this. What I'm asking you about is this. This is what I want to know. When the Europeans were in Europe, before any European ever...
They got kicked out, guys.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. They got kicked out. Where was it first? England. Then they got to Spain, and Spain gave them a mandate to come over here.
You saying no? They didn't. That's not how this worked.
I mean, that's history. They tell you that in history class.
History. They don't
period.
tell you that in history class, y'all.
Oh my God.
They don't tell you that. They tell you that Eric the Red was the first European to ever sail to America, and that was hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus went to South America in 1492. When Christopher Columbus, who was on a conquest for Spain, for the Spanish government, because people argue about him being Spanish because he was supposedly mixed with some nationality next to it, but I'm not getting into that. He was commissioned by Spain to find the new world that had been reported by very few people. So he went on his journey. He finds South America. When he got to South America, he found what you would call Native American Indians. Now, amongst Native American Indians, there were Mongoloids and Negroids. This is a fact. What you must always remember about Native American tribes is Mongoloids outnumbered Negroids.
Wow, guys. No, not at all, guys. Nope.
Fact,
nope.
I'm going to tell y'all why. Because only small groups, I'm going to tell y'all why. Because only small groups of Negroids came to the Americas and started to populate amongst themselves before Mongoloids came out of Asia and went into America and started to populate. So the difference in the population was the fact that more Mongoloids.
The only reason I have a problem with Colombians.
Listen, y'all. The difference in the population is the fact that Mongoloids were fleeing Asia at an all-time high due to invasion. The black people who predate Mongoloids in America came on their own free will. So that means that certain groups in Africa left Africa and they went to the islands. They went to South America. They went to North America. So now. And
start conforming Negroes.
Just like they was the only ones there at that time.
We out here march for
everybody. They were the only ones there. They didn't have to conform anybody, y'all. They was the only ones there at this point. At this point, all of America only had black people in it. That's it. Then, before Europeans, So
how did they start outnumbering all these black people you talking about, bro?
I just told you, because
I'm right here, brother.
I just told you, because Asians or
they don't outnumber us right now and black talking and stuff.
The reason why they don't outnumber us right now is because when Europeans came here, they brought Negroids as well, because that was their slave. That's who taught them. That's who showed them what slavery was. And
they brought not many slaves for cotton fields, Egyptian cotton fields. Be real, guys.
Let me explain it to y'all. Over hundreds of years in an era where boats exist. Because we're talking about from 1492, and then slavery wasn't abolished until the late 1800s. That's 400 years of going back and forth between Europe. And listen, we can't make it a minute thing because it's not just one group of Europeans. It's the English who came to America with slaves and occupied multiple territories over a 400-year span. It's the Spanish. It's the Portuguese. It's the Dutch. All these people. All of them, these nations in Europe, all had different territories all over America and its surrounding islands. These are the people who came up with the laws and the rules.
All of them people wasn't crazy. Like the Dutch,
they was all crazy.
Different. The
Dutch was crazy
they was all different.
The Dutch was listen, they're all different.
The Mormons,
they're all different culturally. They're all different,
they brought
and they're all
cultures,
different nationality-wise, but they all come from the same continent, and they were all doing the same thing here in America because it was business. It was
They came here to Pennsylvania. They had Pennsylvania
first. It was a way
of
making money. That's why, because it was business. So now, if you were from Europe and you were trying to escape some type of tyranny in your nation, you could come here to America as a stowaway on a slave ship, as a stowaway on a boat that just was bringing people over here that wasn't even a type of slave ship.
Let me just make a point real quick.
I'm not going to let you talk until I'm finished.
You've been talking. When I get time, 15 minutes? You've been talking 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes. You was cutting me off for the first 10 minutes. So, and you still cutting me off. My point is this. So when those people come over here to the Americas, they could be a slave for 7 to 12 years, depending on what power they were a slave to. Different ones had different rules. So white people weren't under the same rule. They could be free white men in America in 7 to 12 years. Black people were brought over here on boats. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them were brought over here on boats, and they were enslaved, and they were enslaved for life. And then their children were enslaved for life, and their children's children's children were enslaved for life until slavery was, quote unquote, as they say, abolished. That's a whole nother story, whether it's...
I want to explain how there's different migrations. And the one was the Spanish migration, when they came over here and they seen all them black people. And as you can see today, those are the people that come to America and act like foundational black Americans. It's because they were the first to be conquered. So they was conquered much longer than us, and maybe even South America. There was little islands. Like today, you'll come to Pennsylvania, you'll see that we got the most draconian laws here, and they lock up the most black people here because this is the first place they came. You'll see Chester is the worst place, probably in United States at one point. That's the first place they landed. If you want to check your history, they landed at the bay in Chester, and you can see different. You can see through time that the people who got conquered first are just more in line with the Europeans, or getting locked up by the Europeans, like here in Pennsylvania. The South, like I learned in school, they expanded. They conquered Delaware, they conquered Virginia, and then they got to the South where they had a lot of wars at. Also, the South got better land than the North, so they took over as farmers. It's not hard to believe that Europeans came over here with guns while we were already warring, and they gave us alcohol. They gave us firearms to attack each other, and basically it was a way to break down the different tribes. And I'm part of the Cherokee Nation, so the Cherokee Nation was the first to work with the Europeans, which makes sense because they came to the north, and the Cherokees pretty much controlled up the whole northeast of America. So basically they took over Pennsylvania, New York, and also like Jersey, and Delaware was the first state. And when they expanded down south, obviously you can see the brutality and which they did down there. And then they expanded, what they call it, the Western expansion, which even learning in school, they did that pretty fast, and I don't know how they did it. And they ended up in California with the gold rush. That's why there's different laws in different states, because it was different Europeans that settled in different places. So if anybody ever asks how black Americans got enslaved in our own country, it had a lot to do with laws, our own people working against us, like even in today. And islanders, black people, they used to replace us. Here in America, they bring up islanders, which is easily controlled. And if you watch the TV today, most people you would consider black Americans are nothing but islanders, which I don't have a problem with. They just was broken in before us, but at the same time, they still are people. We still all follow a similar culture, and that's my little expose on how they conquered America. And even in South America, they told you they pushed them up to the north. They were saying like they killed millions of Indians or with blankets and other means. I mean, that's a lot of people, especially for the time frame they gave. So you could do your own research on that. But all the stories line up. The black, what we call African Americans today, is the indigenous Indian paleo man that was always in America. And I think me and Brock, where we separate is, he thinks we're African and we came over here on boats.
Now I gotta stop you. Don't speak on what I think. Just say what you got to say.
Okay.
Don't speak for me, please.
Okay. I'm just saying Brock thinks we came over here from Africa and on boats maybe 400 or 500 years ago.
But see what I'm saying? That's why I don't want him to speak for me, because I never ever in my life said that. He just said that I think. He's trying. Listen, I don't need him to say nothing. He just talking. I ain't interrupting him. He just said, I think that black people, when I just went into a whole thing 10 minutes ago where I said that black people was here before Mongoloids came here. This is the problem. People.
Yeah, I actually helped advance that in Brock's mind, but he would never admit that.
Listen, that's not true at all. Let me explain to y'all what it is. A long time ago, the United States government, and this is for anybody who ain't from America that's black or white.
Which consisted of a lot of Moors. I'm sorry.
Again, when somebody, if you're not from America, this is what you don't know. The United States government made it their business to make black people think Africa was bad. So what we have is a person who, I'm not going to say what he think. I'm going to tell you what he said. He said out of his own mouth that when he left Africa and got to America, he was no longer African. I'm going to tell y'all why people think like that. That's like a European leaving England and coming to America and say, because I take this land, I'm American. And I'm not disputing anybody's nationalism. Because if you were somewhere first, if you built your culture and you built up a community or a town or a city or a state or a country for your people, I understand why you feel as though you have a claim to it. I would agree with you. But here's what you must never forget this. He made statements like just a second ago when he was talking, a lot, most, and some. I'm not going to do that.
I don't think we can take back over this land.
Again, I'm not finished. So at the end of the day, black people, all black people on earth, you originate from the original black people. What that means is, where are the original black people from? The original black people of this earth, of this planet, are from Africa. The reason we know that is because of the number of black people in Africa today. Numbers is something that goes up and it goes down. Homo erectus is now extinct today. Homo erectus is not live anymore, so his number is 0. Black people in Africa, even though they have all different subspecies of themselves, you have all different types of people, because when a human being is put in a certain circumstance for an extended amount of time, his characteristics can change. Not only that, he could also leave that circumstance and go mix with other human beings who were in other circumstances, some good, some very bad. This is how you get what they call phenotype. That's how things look. It's how people look, how animals look, your phenotype. There are multiple different types of looking.
I don't know. I think you can change your phenotype.
Again, y'all, like I said, phenotype is how you look. Genotype is what your genetics is. The black line of people on this planet, and when I say black, I mean very, very dark brown and black. That line of people can be traced all the way back to the original Homo sapiens that we have found. Let's remember, just because they're the oldest Homo sapiens that we have found, that doesn't mean that they're the first Homo sapiens to ever exist. But since they're the oldest ones we've ever found, we must cross the number of years that they have been dated with the number of years that other Homo sapiens have been found at. So when you look at the world,
guys, Brock,
look at the world.
Even Brock
Listen, I'm
not
done with you. I'm not done. Just be quiet. Damn. So when you get into the numbers, no, I'll say this again. There's only one continent outside of Africa that has a history of Homo sapiens, modern day humans, us, the people that walk Earth today. There's only one other continent other than Africa who has a history of Homo sapiens older than 100,000 years. That would be Asia. That's a fact. That is not a theory.